All right, guys, we are back for another episode of Muscle Discord, and we are going to give you a recap on the 2023 Cali Pro and what would some would say is an upset for Tony Burton losing to Ross Flanigan. There was not much talk about Ross coming into this show, and Tony was coming off fresh off a win from the New York Pro, so he was the front runner coming into this show, and he comes up short, placing second to Ross. So I just wanted to come in here and kind of break it down. In our opinion, we think Tony Burton still should have won this show. You know, was Tony robbed? Leave your comments below. We still think structurally, Tony has just an overall top to bottom better physique than Ross does. Okay. There's some points that we're going to go through when we watch the video here of them. And this was from the prejudging top two. And we just want to break it down pose for pose. Right off the bat, the caveat is yes, Ross is in better condition, but just being the most conditioned guy doesn't mean you should win the show, right? It's the complete package that you're bringing, right? And we just feel that he doesn't bring that complete package just yet. Can he get there? Yes, but let's run through some poses here and take a look. So here, prejudgings. Let's just go pose for pose. Sorry about that. Where I got this screen grab from. So front double bicep. Let's go back here a little bit. I know that's kind of in the way, but nothing we can do about it. This is what we get to work with in the bodybuilding industry, right? You don't need to see their faces, but pose for pose, the front double bicep. Yes, Ross has huge quads, okay, but so does Tony. And from a balance perspective, top to bottom, you want to even look at the silhouette of the bodybuilder. And to me, Tony is just more complete. He's got more of a 3D pop, even to the pectoral muscles. You can see the lats are more rounded, flared out than Ross's, right? There's more roundness versus just like a straight kind of line here, right? Tony's waist is actually smaller. Sure, the calf, like you can see the calves here. I always look at bodybuilders' calves because I mean, people don't seem to. I don't know if people don't pay attention to it now, but to me, I find it extremely important. Calves do need to be there, and Ross doesn't seem to really have much calf development from the front. Tony has a little bit of a pop of the calf coming through from the front shot. Let's move on to the next pose. So right now, I have Tony winning the front double bicep pose. Move forward here. Okay, front lat spread. Again, top to bottom, symmetry wise, the flow of Tony's physique is just better to me. Ross's quads are almost too big for his upper body, right? He needs to bring his upper body to match the lower half. Antonio it's like it reminds me of Dexter Jackson, that symmetry, the muscle fullness, the roundness, the conditioning. It's a complete package. With Ross, yes, it's impressive with those quads and the conditioning that he's bringing, but overall, it's just not completely balanced. So let's go on to the next pose. Right now, I have Tonio winning the front lat spread. All right. Let's go into side chest here. Okay. All right. So I do like this side chest pose from Ross. Just again, the balance issue. He's got massive quads, but even from the side here now, just the balance of the symmetry of the quad. If you really want to get picky, the glute shape from the hamstring tie into the glute, it's a little different on Ross than it is with Tonio. Does Ross look bigger here? Yes. The chest looks a little bit thicker. Arms are almost equal. And then conditioning standpoint, I'd say Ross is obviously ahead of Tonio here. From a balance structure, symmetry standpoint, giving it to Tonio. Let's move on to the next pose. Now, this is where a lot of people will mention, okay, let's look at the glutes. It's so impressive. He's so shredded. Hamstrings, right? But let's just analyze this a little more. Okay. So from a symmetry standpoint, so what you guys got to remember, don't just look at someone's condition and get super overwhelmed by it and then forget what we're looking at here. This is a bodybuilding show. So we want to look at the symmetry, look at the thickness and width of Tonio's back. He's got the glutes in, hamstrings are in. Yes, Ross is more conditioned in the back shot, but from a balance standpoint, which physique looks more balanced? And also brings the combination of condition with that balance in proportion. Tonio does. Okay. If you want to say who's more conditioned, yeah, Ross is more conditioned, but who's more balanced? Tonio. Who has the combination of balance and conditioning? Tonio. Tonio wins this pose. Let's go to the next one. This one's going to show a lot of weaknesses when it comes to Ross. Again, balance to that lat spread. Nice and round, flaring lats. Look at the traps. Now let's go to Ross. It's like there's no roundness to the flare of the lat spread here. Traps. Looks like we're still at the national level here, right? This is the pro show. Got to build those traps up. I'm being critical. That's our job, right? It's nothing personal. It's just we're critiquing them because they're on stage hitting poses. So if it's a close show, this was close, very, very close. Tonio was winning in prejudging. He lost the show at the night show. I don't know why, but okay. The judges are going to judge how they want to judge. But to me, when you really, really take time to break it down, these are the things you can see, and they're very glaring to me. So like I said, Ross has to bring up that upper body to match these massive shredded, quads of his and hamstrings and glutes. Okay. Good job. He's got massive hamstrings and shredded glutes, but that shouldn't win you the show. I'm sorry. So again, Tonio, symmetry. Ross, impressive conditioning. Yes. Tonio wins this pose. Move on to the next pose here. Okay, let's go back a little bit there. Right here. Time it. Didn't run them to get out of that one, but sorry, because there we go. Okay, let's try and keep it there. Maybe back a little bit. Okay. Here, it's hard because they're not hitting the pose at the same point, and it's a little difficult to make the comparison here. It's a great shot for both of them. To me, this one, same as the side chest, right? As long as you have good arm development, the guy that wins the side chest is also going to win the side tricep. I have Tonio winning that side chest. It was close with Ross. Ross has a good side chest, but at the end of the day, I'm giving this to Tonio. His chest looks better in this shot than to Ross's, in my opinion. Go to the next one. Okay. Abs and thigh. Okay, so this one, this could go to Ross. It looks great because his quads are quite overwhelming, and the conditioning, his obliques are shredded. Tonio's right there too with the ab development. His waist is a little tinier than Ross's, but again, when you look at the symmetry, it's more of a X. You want to see the X frame versus you look at Ross, his quads are so big, it distorts that. And then the upper body is a little narrow compared to the quad, so you don't get that X frame. With Tonio, you get that. So this one could go either way. It's very close, but so we'll just give this one a tie. But they both have great obliques. Ross is a little bit more conditioned in the obliques here, but I mean, but then Tonio's abs are more etched out here, right? They're popping out more. But then Ross is beating Tonio in the quads. Let's go on to the next one. All right. Most muscular. This one is close. Ross is a little bit has a little bit more size in the chest here than Tonio. You can see Ross's conditioning coming through a little bit more than Tonio. So this is a close one. I would give it to Tonio, especially when he hits the most, like when he hits the crab shot. He just the traps, the roundness of the muscles. It just looks better. So I'm going to give that one to Tonio because that's a good shot for Tonio as well. All right, so kind of went through this video. It's not the best quality, so we'll try and go through some images on Flex Online here that I was looking through. These are more high definition. So, and you can see here as well. This is really, so now when you really get into it and you get the high resolution photos coming out, whose physique looks better here? Who's winning this shot in your opinion versus when you were watching the live stream over the weekend? Tonio looks better. I mean, just look at the midsection, right? It's just a fresher, more complete, finished look that Tonio brings to this versus Ross. Looks great. Huge quads, big arms. They're a bit bigger than Tonio. But those lats just don't pop out like they do on Tonio. And the symmetry is close, but it's just not as complete and round, and the muscles don't pop as good as Tonio. Again, front lat spread. You can see Tonio's hitting this shot better. It's just a better complete shot for Tonio than it is for Ross. Right. Good symmetry. You got that X frame, right? Versus Ross. He's got a bit of an X frame here too, but it's distorted from the quads being too big for his upper body. Side chest. Here you can see Tonio's condition better versus the video, right? And so the symmetry and just the way Tonio's lined up in the side chest versus Ross, to me, it edges toward Tonio winning this pose. Sure, Ross has shredded glutes from the side. Should he win the show because of that? Not really. Back to a bicep. Great shot for both guys, right? But just look at the thickness and the density through the back, upper back here for Tonio, right? And then even the lower lats, you can see this the development that Tonio is beating out Ross here. Sure, Ross is great condition, right? But look at Tonio's got the glutes here too. He's shredded too, right? He's got the complete package. He's, when you're missing the thickness and the density in the back, shows are one from the back. To me, Tonio's winning this pose. Yes, Tonio's not as conditioned, but he's got a balanced physique top to bottom, along with good conditioning and structure and balance. So let's go on to the next shot here. Here we go. Like this shot. Tell me, guys, in the comments, who's winning the lat spread? Tonio or Ross? Look at the lats. Look at the traps. Look at the roundness and the flareness of the lats. The side air, missing for Ross. right? Yup, always got shredded glutes. I guess you should win it. No, it doesn't work like that. That's what kind of irks me is when everyone's like, oh, he was so shredded. He was so shredded. Yeah, but does he have a complete package? Does he have a complete physique? And no, not yet. Can he get there? Sure. Does he have to add more density and thickness and roundness to his back to get that 3D level that Tonio has? Yeah, Ross needs to get there. He's not there yet. Does he have it in the hamstrings and glutes? Yeah, he's got it. But it's just not at Tonio's level yet from that completeness standpoint. All right, here we go for the side tricep, which was struggling with in the video. To me, they're both hitting the shot differently, so it's hard to compare. But Tonio has a pretty thick side quad, and it just looks more balanced in proportion versus Ross is kind of straight up and down. Maybe if Ross kind of sat down into the pose a little more, it would fix that for him because he does have big hamstrings. So, yeah, this is a tough one. Like I said, this could almost be a tie. And then this looks better than obviously the video, right? Now you're really seeing Tonio's abs chiseled coming through. Ross has, good abs. But it just looks to me, this looks more impressive than this. Don't like how Tonio's scrunching down his neck, like pulling it forward. You don't need to do that. He could stand more upright, and that would even look even better on him. So he needs to work on that pose a little bit. But overall, I think Tonio's winning the shot now that I see in high definition photo like this. Again, Tonio looks better in the shot to me. Sure, Ross's legs are bigger, but Tonio is complete. Top to bottom looks better, looks more developed, has that 3D muscle look, and he's bringing the condition too. So overall, it was a great show. We had Sergio come in third. There was a video of Sergio that was out there. We some bodybuilders. Yeah, this one. Here we go. We could take a look at Sergio, do a little discussion on him. He looked really good, actually, considering he flew in a day and a half before the show. So it was a long flight, and for him to pop on stage and bring this type of conditioning is a good look for him. Maybe he's a little flat, but from the side quad there, he's shredded. Glutes were shredded. Maybe a little flat in the back when you see him. He turns around here. The lower back. He's got high lat insertion, as you can see. And so, yeah, he just needs to work on even his back overall. Like you look at Tony's compared to Paz's to Sergio's, like the thickness is just not there. Right. He has the width of the lat, but he needs to work on that thickness, and he needs to work on his lower back. But he's got the glutes and hams are there. He could dry up a little bit more, drop some more water. But those lats, he needs that lower lat development to come in more. Really, he actually needs to do a lot of work on his back. He's got the width, but he needs the thickness to match that width. Side tricep. Looks okay. Yeah, he's just holding the film water. That's all. So hopefully he does another show. Maybe he does. Be good for him to come out to do the Toronto Pro in a week or so. So that would be a good show for him to do. But not bad. Third place for after not competing for a while. That's really good. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. This was a good show. We got Stuart Sutherland that came in fourth. He looked good too. He looked a little fuller at this show. Maybe the conditioning wasn't as good as it was at the New York Pro, but overall, he still brought a good overall package to the show. You can see from the score cards here, Tonio in prejudging was 7, Ross was 8. So Tonio was beating him in prejudging. And then for some reason, the judges are like, yeah, he's not looking as good, and gave him a 9, and they gave Ross a 6. Right. So he just edged him out by a couple points. And I'm just like, really? But the development of Tonio, the overall structure of Tonio, he brought the conditioning as well, complete package. And Ross edged him out. I mean, sometimes I just wonder if they're just doing this so that Ross gets to the Olympia stage too. Because he's already qualified for the Olympia now. So you're like, yeah, let's give it to someone else, right? Let's make it interesting, right? So I just find that strange sometimes. But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. That is our assessment. Please leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Should Tonio have won the show, or did Ross deserve to win the show? We'd love to hear your comments and your feedback. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.